Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. Well, we've got massive quantities of XRP moving again, and of course it's being tracked by crypto media. Take a look at this. 30 million XRP moves in mysterious crypto transfer as Bitcoin whales shuffle 8,722 Bitcoin. Going to be talking about that. Also, want to talk about a founder of Ripple who made Forbes' richest people in America list. That's fascinating. This I found conceptually fascinating. So Warren Buffett, everybody knows who Warren Buffett is, right? Famously anti-Bitcoin, anti-crypto, just in general, and he uses a $20 to $30 flip phone. Yes, remember when phones used to flip? You know that? Yeah, like the Motorola Razr and Nokia's from like the mid 2000s. Oh yeah, he's using a phone in line with that technologically. So not completely sure he's the best guy to take advice from as it pertains to technology and crypto, but you know, I'll get into that. And the last piece I want to cover is from the Daily Hodl, and this one's titled "Backed Breakthrough: Crypto Platform Reveals First Block Trade of Its Bitcoin Futures." Now, before we get going, if you would please delicately tap that like button. And if you're a fan of Ripple and XRP, well, thank you very much, good sir or madam, for stopping by. You have indeed come to the right place. This is an XRP-centric channel. So let's go ahead and dig into the first piece that I cited here. Crypto traders are trying to decipher why 30 million XRP worth $7.3 million was just transferred from an unknown wallet to a wallet identified as Funding Wallet 1. And there's the whale alert tweet right on the screen right here. According to a series of posts of the XRP-centered forum XRP Chat, Funding Wallet 1 is owned by Ripple co-founder Chris Larson. Data from the XRP Explorer BitHomp shows the wallet was activated by Larson and currently has a balance of 32.9 million XRP. And I do want to highlight this, by the way, for those of you, this is the right one. Hold on, sorry. Just want to make sure. Okay, yeah, that's the right wallet here. So for those of you not familiar, BitHomp is a site that allows you to plug in any XRP account address. Just go ahead and plug it right here in the XRP Explorer, and it will show you all sorts of data, including every single transaction, because the XRP ledger, there's a high level of transparency. It is indeed a public ledger. So if you look over here to the left, you can see this account was activated by Chris Larson on February 6th of 2013. And you can see it has currently, again, 32.9 million XRP, and if you wanted to, like, you can literally scroll all the way down here, and it just keeps going. There's been a lot of action on this, so you can even hit load 100 more. My gosh, that's a lot of transactions. So anyway, I don't know what the purpose is for all of Ripple's accounts, but you can actually kind of track this stuff move around, and sometimes you can see when funds actually flow from Ripple to an exchange or whatever the case may be. If you want to track your own balance, you actually can do it here. You just plug it around, and it'll show you your entire account activity. So I'm sure many of you knew about that, but for those of you that don't, hey, here's a new tool for you. Bithomp.com, BITHOMP.com. Anyway, the piece continues. Larson remains on Ripple's board of directors and recently made the latest Forbes list of the 400 wealthiest Americans with a net worth of $2.1 billion. I'm actually going to cover that very briefly in just a moment. Meanwhile, Bitcoin whales continue to surface as the leading cryptocurrency continues to move sideways, trading around 8,200 at time of writing. In the last 24 hours, some of the biggest Bitcoin holders in existence have moved 8,722 Bitcoin, worth around $70.4 million. The biggest single transfer moved 2,000 Bitcoin worth $16.2 million between two crypto exchanges from BitMEX to Bitstamp. And out of the top 7 largest transactions, 2 of them involved crypto moving from an unknown wallet to an exchange, indicating traders may be looking to sell as much as 1,946 Bitcoin worth $15.8 million, which of course is just pocket change. That's nothing. Write an article when we get to the real money. Right? I tease. But yeah, it's neat seeing this. But a lot of the times when articles like these are written, at least some of the time, you can actually track money that presumably, and you can call it speculation because it quite literally is, but has to do with XRP entering the ecosystem specifically from XRP2 LLC, which is the registered money services business that Ripple owns. And that's how they get the XRP out. And so typically it can go to institutional investors, it could go to financial institutions, it can go to exchanges. But in terms of the quantity of XRP that can be released, if the XRP was sold below market value, which admittedly can happen, there are tremendous selling restrictions because the last thing Ripple wants to do is crash the price of XRP. And they've announced publicly their 30-year distribution plan, which don't hold them literally to it, but they do have a plan mapping out the degree to which they believe XRP will be put out into the ecosystem over time. And of course, some of that depends on the degree to which cryptocurrency is adopted, because it has a lot to do with volume. They keep the sales down to a certain percentage of volume, basically. So it could happen sooner, it could happen a little bit longer after that, but they do have a plan and they have no intent of flooding the market, just to be clear. And again, this one coming specifically from Chris Larson. So at least, he activated the account, though. As far as any other ownership behind this, we don't know. That would just be speculation here. Chris Larson, though, this is cool here. So this just came out, I think, 3 days ago. This is from Forbes. The Forbes 400, the definitive ranking of the wealthiest Americans. And then it states, amid a year of big gains and big losses, the Forbes 400 richest Americans are worth a record-breaking $2.96 trillion, up 2.2% from 2018. Amazon founder and CEO Jeff Bezos keeps his spot as number one richest in the United States for the second year in a row, despite parting with a quarter of his Amazon stake in a record-setting divorce settlement earlier this year, which is astonishing. He's still number one. He clocks in at $114 billion, down from $160 billion a year ago. His ex-wife, Mackenzie Bezos, joins the list for the first time at number 15 with $36.1 billion fortune. So not surprising that she's on the list after that, of course. But if you go ahead and look down here, Chris Larson, founder of Ripple, co-founder of Ripple, he's at rank 388 with $2.1 billion, which is fascinating. And then they write the source as cryptocurrency here. And it's fascinating. Whatever you think about Ripple executives and founders holding XRP, especially if it was the few that it was dispersed to upon the conception of this company, understand they had no idea. There was no guarantee that there would be any adoption whatsoever. And it's not as though anybody forced me or you or anybody else to put their money in XRP and to speculate on it, which is what has driven the price of XRP up. So I wouldn't begrudge anybody for making a lot of money off of something that they put in and the world is receiving in a positive fashion. That's my take on it. I'm not going to let somebody else making money prevent me from making money. I don't care. That's silly. It's just like comparison is the thief of happiness, isn't it? That's a saying. So I don't care. And this clearly is not just some sort of get-rich-quick scheme because they already are, and they could have dumped a whole bunch of XRP by now. But what do we actually see? We see an ecosystem actually being built out around, blockchain, certainly XRP. And so I'm happy to speculate a little bit of money. And on top of that, none of this is financial advice, by the way, no financial background here, but I only put money into this that I'm willing to lose. So that's my stance on it anyway. So I say kudos to Chris Larson and everybody else that founded this, because now we get to enjoy the results of what they're doing. Just the fact that all this was created from the get-go. So I'm cool with it. Anyway, check out this tweet from CZ Binance. And he wrote, "How do you explain Bitcoin and wallets to a man who has never used an app? And people pay millions to try just that." And what was he referencing? What was CZ referencing when he stated that? Well, there was this tweet from CNBC which stated, billionaire Warren Buffett, a major Apple investor, uses a $20 flip phone. And again, I want to say, like I said at the outset of this video, he's anti-Bitcoin, and anti-crypto, which of course means anti-XRP. And he has done no research, essentially. He just has opinions without having well informed himself. Some people I just don't get it. I mean, very famous guy. He's been very successful, very talented in many ways, and it's just astonishing to me that he's not willing to educate himself further. And his valuation model and how he values Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, it's completely incorrect. He doesn't understand network effects or anything else of the sort. He says it doesn't manufacture anything. It doesn't. He's got all these reasons that I've talked about previously on the channel, and it just doesn't make any damn sense to me. And the idea that something has to have be backed by something just for it to have value, well, that would result in an endless regression. Because you could say, what's money backed by? And in the United States, money indeed did used to be backed by gold. Okay, that's right. See, there's perfect case study right there. Money needs to be backed by something, or at least at the time it did, back in the day. But what's gold backed by? Investor confidence? Oh, so humans actually can invest in something and it can have a long-lasting value. So humans are capable of doing that, but this can't be done with cryptocurrencies. You might say, the counter-argument might be, okay, well, yeah, but gold has utility. It can be used for stuff. You can use it as jewelry and this and that and to store value. And I think, oh my God, how are you missing this? That's exactly what you can do with cryptocurrency. So as it pertains to XRP, it needs to be able to be used for something, right? It's the same case can be made for gold. Gold doesn't have to be backed by anything, all right? XRP, because it needs to be used by others, because there is utility, it's not being, look, XRP isn't being melted down and formed into jewelry, but businesses need it to conduct their business models. Conceptually, the same. It's the same thing conceptually. Why would it not? As long as XRP keeps having staying power, and it's my strong position that it will be here to stay. And it deserves to be. It deserves to have a market value, and humans are valuing it as a result. And another thing that comes as a result of that is it's the whole idea of XRP as a store of value. If it's being used, humans will have confidence long term. So gold's backed by nothing, XRP's backed by nothing. What the hell's the problem? Why do people like Buffett have a problem with it? It just doesn't it makes no sense in the world to me. But again, he's got his $20 phone. And it's funny, it actually does mention in here, I might as well cite this. He was gifted an iPhone 10 and did not set it up. And so, whatever. And so this was from March 28th this year, so it's not that old. But I just wanted to cite it because CZ caught my attention with this one. So there you go. And then last piece in this video, backed breakthrough. Crypto platform reveals first block trade of its Bitcoin futures. Intercontinental Exchange, ICE, has announced its first block trade of backed Bitcoin futures. The high-volume privately negotiated trade was executed on Tuesday between crypto merchant bank Galaxy Digital and crypto finance company XBTO Group and was cleared by global financial brokerage firm ED&F Man. Says XBTO, quote, "Last week we bought the first backed Bitcoin daily futures contract and took the first physical delivery of a digital asset under existing commodity futures laws and regulations. This week, we executed the first block trade. We're pleased to report that the launch was successful and can accommodate large trades." Then ICE launched its Bitcoin trading platform backed last week amidst high expectations following a delayed start. The company notes that the launch has marked several milestones, including the first physical delivery of Bitcoin against a futures contract, and now the first block trade, as it promises to deliver on its goal of exposing a wide swath of big investors to Bitcoin. By onboarding traditional institutional players, Bakkt is expected to jumpstart a new chapter in the King Coin's trajectory toward full integration into the financial system as a safe haven asset. And I want to say right here, there's no way to know for sure to what degree success will be found, but I think we're so early on, just as an asset class, a cryptocurrency asset class, that it's far too early to say, based on current volumes, whether or not this is going to be a win or not. But anyway, piece continues. Despite Bakkt's slow start, insiders are suggesting the new platform needs time to grow and shouldn't be written off as a flop. And I do share that sentiment. According to the team at Galaxy Digital, quote, "As the digital asset class continues to mature, we view the launch of Bakkt as a foundational piece of market infrastructure." Now, I think those are true words. I think that this is rather substantial, and you're going to see more of this with other cryptocurrencies in the future. So, anyway, analysts at New York-based investment bank Oppenheimer Holdings wrote in an equity research report released on October 1st, quote, "Bakkt, a venture jointly owned by ICE, Microsoft, BCG, and Starbucks, finally launched its Bitcoin futures for trading on September 22nd, 2019. There was a vibe that Bakkt's Bitcoin futures could get off to a strong start, partly due to ICE CEO Sprecher's, I don't know if I'm saying that right, track record of disruption, and also ICE's Bitcoin futures use of physical delivery when the contract expires. Even though early trading indicated that volumes for ICE's Bitcoin futures had a slower start than that of CME and CBOE, it comprised only a tiny fraction of ICE's total volume and earnings. given that ICE has many other electronification initiatives in fixed income analytics and trading, mortgages, and fixed incomes ETFs. We recommended investors not get upset about the current trading volume. And so that's kind of like in a nutshell saying, yeah, this isn't going so hot right now, but we're doing all these other good things. It's okay. We're profitable. So it's okay. But I do think it's too early to just, like I said, to call this a flop, see whether or not this is going to be a flop or not. If we are in a bull market in crypto, and I know it's been going down after getting up to like the last few months, Bitcoin got up to like 14,000. I get it. If we are still in a bull market, and this is just a little valley, just wait then, because the amount of volume that will be coming in, if indeed I'm correct and cryptocurrencies have staying power, and that's just my everyday Joe Schmo opinion here, if I'm right though, there's going to be a ton of money coming in, both from additional retail investors and institutional money over time as people figure this stuff out. And I believe that you're going to have a multi-trillion-dollar asset class at some point, and I'm happy to patiently wait. I will wait everyone out. I don't care, because my whole investment thesis is utility will win the day, and if I'm wrong, then fine. Maybe I deserve to lose every penny I put into this, but I don't think I'm wrong, and I think XRP is here to stay. And it's the only cryptocurrency that I'm still investing in. It's the only thing that I have invested in cryptocurrency-wise since the beginning of 2018. And if somebody can show me another coin that's getting adopted and has utility, awesome. I'll be happy to share that. Until that happens, this is just like XRP City here, man. That's pretty much it. But that's it for this video. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo!